Hey, class. Wanted to welcome you to Kin Major 100. My name is Professor Peter Parsoletti. I'm going to take you through the course and let you kind of get a lay of the land, review the syllabus, and look at the modules. Kind of just give you a nice overview of what you should expect this semester with me. So, my homepage is a little bit of an homage to me, I guess, so you can learn a little bit about me. Um, I've been teaching at Los Angeles City College for quite some time. I've developed a whole bunch of programs. Some of the programs we'll talk about in this course, in particular, because they might be great to supplement your kin degree if that's what you're working on, and get you some skills and certifications now that are built, or the way I design them, built into our curriculum so that you can actually enhance your resume when you're out there looking for jobs, et cetera. So I'll talk a little bit about that later on in the course, just something to think about. I have I don't know, 15, 16. I mean, I still work in the fitness space as a consultant. I was going to say I have I guess at this point, a 20-year career working in corporate wellness as well as commercial fitness. So corporate wellness more in corporations, managing wellness programs, and eventually working my way into a corporate office managing fitness education for, I think it was 800 employees across the country. I also worked at Equinox as a personal trainer, manager, developed a whole bunch of education over the years for different organizations. And I continue to do some consulting work with various companies that are looking for education expertise in fitness. And I'll kind of brings me in a kind of my doctoral pursuit. So I'm currently finishing up my doctorate degree in kinesiology with an emphasis in strength and conditioning. I'm currently working on my dissertation. I should be graduating not December, this spring. So spring 2027, after I defend my dissertation in the beginning of the new year. My career or my research interest, excuse me, is evaluating the effectiveness of various learning modalities. So think like, hey, this is an asynchronous course. We're doing fully online. You're never going to see me live unless you come to my office hours or come to any other kind of live event that I might offer through a semester. But generally, this course it's not a requirement. And this course is set up, you're going to learn on your own at your own time. So that's really online learning, technically called asynchronous. Face-to-face would be more of a classroom, or it could be online where we're actually logging into Zoom and you guys can interact with me or any instructor. That would be more of a face-to-face. And then hybrid would be some sort of model where there's a little bit of both, where you can do some online coursework at your own pace, but there's also some sort of face-to-face interaction. So my dissertation is actually looking at different educational modalities in preparing kinesiology professionals to become certified in what's called the functional movement screen, which is a movement screen that sets a baseline. It includes 7 movements, 4 pain clearing assessments. It's something that we teach in our Kin Major 217 course here at LACC. It results in a certification at a steep discount for students. They can use book vouchers to pay for it, et cetera. So it's one of those really cool things that's very well recognized across the fitness space, the athletic training space, the physical therapy space, performance enhancement space. So think strength coach and all that kind of stuff. And it really starts to train your eye to look at movement dysfunction as a precursor to just putting someone into an exercise protocol without addressing some of their movement dysfunctions. So some of the pictures the picture up on the left, you'll see me with some students assessing a student doing the inline lunge on the FMS. Her trunk is moving a little bit forward, so that indicates a specific thing that we would look at and then design an corrective exercise program to address that issue. And depending on the results of the screen, there's a whole bunch of things that we can interpret. It allows us to create actionable programs for clients, athletes, and potentially patients returning from rehab. So that's the long and short of that. I'm very obviously excited about fitness education. That's why I'm here. and gives you a little bit of insight. So I did write a note here that we do teach and certify students actually in a few things, not just functional movement screen level 1, functional movement screen level 2. We have a kettlebell certification course in our kin major 175. Where you walk out as a kettlebell coach if you pass a practical examination. And then we obviously do preparation for personal training and group fitness as what certifications that are recognized by the industry. And we also do a Health 60 mental health first aid certification course. So all of that is very, very inexpensive and reasonable for students to get these certifications with discounts. So I have a whole bunch of other education certifications, yada, yada, yada. That's me down there here. You'll see me presenting. This is also, I write journal articles and long and short, hopefully I'll continue to write some actually peer-reviewed journal articles once my dissertation is complete. That's the long game. But I do have some articles that I wrote. I also work for, I'm a NSCA, Southern California National Strength and Conditioning Association committee member. So you can see me over there on the right in the back. Here's some articles. Here's just kind of a high-level overview, which is also in the syllabus. How you can contact me. I respond to emails pretty quickly, within 24 hours, usually much quicker than that. I currently have some emails sitting in my inbox from students wondering why the class isn't posted, but it'll be posted here shortly. So that'll fix that, and I'll respond to them, even though it's a little bit late at night. I do have office hours. It'll be 12 to 2:15 on Mondays. However, that's Zoom. If you plan on attending my office hours, please make sure you email me ahead of time so I can make sure I keep it open, because I don't just sit, since I'm kind of away for the summer, I don't sit in my office with Zoom on. So all I need you to do is just give me a heads up if you plan on attending any of my office hours. Either inbox me in Canvas, or you could email me directly. There's my email. Let's now move over to the syllabus so you have a good understanding of what's going on. There will be sort of a little welcome video, and this is I'm in the student view, so you do have to acknowledge that you've read the syllabus, whether you do or not. So I'm going to review at a high level for you. This is a 3-unit course. It's fully online. There's no face-to-face. My preferred method of contact is email, and I will respond within 24 hours. There's our course description. It should be the same as what you find in the catalog. There are my office hours, Mondays, 12 to 2:15 with my Zoom link right there. And we're going to look at physical activity as a discipline, how it relates to the discipline. It's a little bit confusing, kinesiology versus physical activity. We will use a textbook in this course. I will provide that textbook for you. I generally don't use a textbook in my face-to-face course, but it's a little bit more difficult to have. It's hard to lecture, right? I can't lecture and have interactive conversation. So I'm going to require you to at least scan the textbook and have some familiarity with it. But we will evaluate the different career paths in kin. So we're going to really be primarily looking at long-term here, different careers, and trying to kind of flesh out what you're interested in pursuing from a kinesiology perspective, if that's your goal. We have whole letter grades here, so nothing shouldn't be anything new. If you're new to LACC or LACCD, yeah, we don't do pluses or minus. There's no cost for a textbook. I provide that for you. There's just general information about course repetition policy, LACCD payment fee policy. So you don't get dropped, make sure you pay, deal with your financial aid. All these links should work. Accommodations, if you need any kind of specialized accommodation, you've got to go through our Office of Student Services. So here's all the contact information for that. Library, we may not need to use that. You might want to use that in my face-to-face. We do go through that a little bit more, but it's a little bit harder to kind of navigate that online. So don't worry about it. Student code of conduct, obviously respect. So I'm going to be looking in discussion boards in particular, making sure that everyone's professional. So just be as a reminder, our discussion boards really are our in-class conversations. So please make sure that we are polite to one another, even if we can professionally disagree, but we have to maintain a professional courtesy around that. And I will obviously monitor that. I updated our academic integrity artificial intelligence policy. I wanted to review this with you all because AI is not allowed, not at this level. I want to so I'm going to kind of read pieces of this to you. Um, and the reality of my experience teaching at this point is since AI has become a thing, students are using it because it saves time. But the problem is, look, I'm passionate about helping prepare you guys, you all, excuse me, for your next phase, which really has to be a bachelor's degree. If you leave our program not learning anything because you've used AI, we have failed you. So I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be like, a curmudgeon old guy here, but like at this early level, you've got to memorize, you've got to study. And I know many of you have competing responsibilities. I get that, but you've also signed up for a course to learn. And I'll be damned if you do not learn in my class, because I am so passionate. I continue on with my education. I know you are all sort of entering this from the beginning, which is totally fine. So maybe some of you are doing career switches and you have experience in college in other areas, but most of you are going to be doing this for the first time. And at this level and the next level, you don't know what's true and what's not true when it comes to AI. AI is not the answer to everything. It gets things wrong all the time. And this is the beginning of your future. And so let's set a foundation as best we can. So obviously these tools exist. I need to develop your ability to think, reason, and communicate. I don't want a machine to do that for me. That I would be failing you if I let that happen. So obviously these tools exist. In the early stages of your academic learning, we're teaching you how to think, not just what to memorize, but how to make information, evaluate critically, apply it, and explain it clearly in real time under pressure with a real world person depending on you, because that's what kinesiology is. So here's a scenario. Imagine you're working with a fitness client, a patient in rehabilitation, or an athlete preparing for competition. They look at you and ask, why are you having me do a plank instead of a sit-up and to train my core? This moment is happening right now in real time. So I want you to think about that. You just prescribe a plank and they say, well, I'm used to sit-ups. Why aren't you having me do that? And right now, many of you probably don't know, but sit-ups potentially are worse and injurious than planks. And there's a whole bunch of research and data to support that. And your client, athlete, patient trusts you that you have the know-how and knowledge. They're not just asking this question. They're deciding on whether you are the right person to help them reach their goal, and whether that's getting fit, recovering from an injury, or competing at the highest level. Your ability to answer the question with confidence, clarity, and genuine understanding is what builds trust. It is what keeps them working with you instead of walking out the door to find another practitioner. So not knowing stuff real time becomes problematic when you are working with real people. So this is AI can't do that for you. You will be literally, you're not learning the content. This is why every reading, every assignment, every time you push through a hard question in this course, it's just not just about a grade, but about building professional knowledge, critical thinking, and communication skills that would define your career and the lives of the people that you will serve one day. Okay, so we go into academic violations, and I'm not here to. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm here as a resource. So, and I'm going to use Turnitin, which is the tool that we have here in the assignments and discussions. Going to be honest, you can get away with it because I don't have Turnitin isn't an option in discussions. But my hope is that you're going to want to actually do the work, because in discussions, we're going to actually be meeting. There are live recordings of me interviewing practitioners in the field: physical therapist, athletic trainer, chiropractor, two others. Blanking on occupational therapy and one other. And my hope is that these are interesting conversations for you because you're taking a career kinesiology course. Okay, so submitting, if you're using any of these tools, it's going to be unfortunate, but I'm going to have to give you a 0 on that. Now, here's the deal. Turnitin is the tool that we use. Right here it says a note about Turnitin. The system does not flag AI usage below 20%. So under 20%. So you could technically use a little bit to maybe check your grammar if you want. But Turnitin will not ding you for that. So you already get a little bit of buffer. And so, I mean, I would argue, I don't want to give you any, but that's fine. So it's really, if it goes 20% or greater is when Turnitin flags. So at the point Turnitin flags, it's already telling me that you're at least 20% of your content, almost a quarter of the material you wrote is using some sort of artificial intelligence and or plagiarism. So the long-term complications, if this is a continuous problem, obviously is, school gets involved and they could suspend you, which obviously that's not the goal here. So I'm gonna strongly encourage you to save your drafts and of your work as you go. So if you turn something in, make sure you keep a hard copy of it. That's time stamped, and I can see when you actually did it if there's a question, because it's not a perfect scenario. This way you can kind of demonstrate that the original authorship if questions ever arise. Now, if you're ever unsure about a source or a tool approach you're using, please reach out to me before you submit. I would always rather have that conversation with you early. There's no question too small, and asking shows exactly the kind of professional integrity I know that you all have it and I am expecting from you. We can meet during my office hours. We talked about that. So just see above. If you have questions about AI plagiarism, academic integrity, on an assignment or anything else going on in your academic journey, I genuinely want to hear from you. Please send me an email. We will schedule one-on-one Zoom meeting at a time that works for your schedule. So that's the other thing. I'll meet you whenever works best for you. You just got to let me know if those office hour window that I have set doesn't work for you. Don't wait until something feels like a crisis. Reach out early, reach out often. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to guide you through this process. I'm not here to punish you. That's not what this is about. I believe in all of the students that I work with, but I'm going to hold you to high expectations because that's what I hold myself to. But I'm going to be in your corner every step of the way. So just be in communication with me if anything comes up. I hope that feels authentic. I can't make it any more authentic than that because that's genuinely how I feel. I really do care about you. So other things here, that's the AI stuff, but prohibited discrimination, academic freedom, student resources, campus maps. Obviously, we're going through construction at LACC right now. So if you're on campus, you probably know that, but there's campus maps with the campus improvement. So remember that assignment submission policy, I hold everyone in high regards, obviously, as I stated. I'm not trying to make things difficult because I believe in your potential as a future kinesiology professional. The way you submit your work matters, just as attention to detail is essential in careers like physical therapy, athletic training, public health, and sports medicine is equally important here. Please submit all assignments through assignment links in Canvas. I don't accept things via email. I don't accept things in comments. So please remember, submit through Canvas assignment link only. Submissions in the comment sections cannot be accepted. Submissions by email cannot be accepted. I need everything in one spot so I can grade you correctly and in a timely fashion. So if things are not there, I can't grade you. If you ever are unsure how to submit an assignment, please reach out before the deadline. I would much rather walk you through it than have you miss the opportunity to receive credit and meaningful feedback on your hard work. So there is no late penalty for late assignments submitted during the semester. I understand that life is full, work, family, his health, and everything else in between. What matters most is that you engage with the material and keep moving forward. That said, once the semester ends, I'm unable to accept assignments. So if you are falling behind or facing any challenges, academic, personal, technical, please do not wait. Reach out early so we can navigate a path forward together. You don't have to figure this all out on your own alone, especially in an online world. If you're struggling with coursework, tech, or anything outside of the class that's making it hard to show up fully, I want to know. Reaching out is a sign of strength, and that is exactly what professionals do. We have to let people know when we can't meet them or when we're going to be late with material, homework, or work assignments. You've got to let people know who are waiting for your work that you're not going to be turning it in at time. So if you're running late with stuff, let me know. That is 100% practice for what you have to do in the professional world. So I'm here to support, and the course is designed to the best of my ability to recognize and support your unique learning journey. You bring valuable experiences and perspectives and goals to this class, and I'm committed to helping you succeed. Okay, so here's all of the other resources from LACC that you can review. Remember, asking for help is one of the most professional things you can do. It is impossible to do all this stuff on your own. Asking for help is really, really important, and it's often a maturation process. Many of you, myself included, have an inner monologue in our head. Things like, I don't feel like I belong here. I don't think I can do this. I'm a fraud. They're going to discover me. But the reality is, every human being has that experience. I have that experience still. One of my inner monologues is that I'm not smart enough to teach at a university level. I know that's not real, but that's been something I've taught at a university level. And early on in my career, I prefer community college for a variety of reasons based on my work history. But that's like a real thing that I struggle with. My next step is once I finish my doctorate, is to start teaching at a university and really challenging myself, knowing that I've got that internal monologue that tries to tell me that I'm not capable. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let that inner monologue prevent me from reaching my full potential. So I want to invite you all to do the same. You asking for help is not a sign of weakness. Asking for help is a sign of strength. All right. That's all I got on the syllabus. Okay, so now let's move into the modules. So when you go to the module section, this is what you'll see. Here's all the textbook. Obviously, we have general help information. Sorry, I'm moving back here. Anything that you need to know, how to use Canvas, etc., mental health resources. Just take a look at any of that stuff if you're in need of any of it. Here's the resources. Textbook information. It's the free PDF download it's an older version of the textbook, but it's totally fine. Things haven't changed all that much, so it's fine. And then how to install Microsoft Office, Outlook, and Adobe Reader, because you will need a PDF. You'll need Adobe Reader to do this. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're just on your phone, this course might be a little bit hard. So I'm going to encourage you to partake in this course on a computer of some kind. We do have resources at LACC to get tablets and things. If you're in need of something like that, please let me know. I can point you in the direction of how you might be able to find that. We also have computer labs, so if you need to spend time working on a computer, that's going to be the best way to engage with the course. I know many of you will do it on your phone, but it does limit your view a little bit, and it makes a little bit more difficult to write a paper or write a response on a Word document, or read a PDF if you don't have it set up correctly. I also provided careers in kinesiology link. This comes from the American Kinesiology Association. It lists all the careers ahead of time. And you can always reference that at any point. We're going to review the careers through the textbook. But here we have week 1, and you're going to see a few repeatable things here. Here's my welcome. This is my video. That's why you're watching this, hopefully. And then we go into our chapters. These are the PDF, so the PowerPoints that are going to be less robust. You can certainly use them, skim them. You might not be able to answer all the questions on the quizzes with just reviewing these. So my hope is that you'll use your PDF textbook to skim it if you need to. Maybe read a little bit more in depth on certain things that really interest you. That's totally fine. And so you're going to see every week we have quizzes on the chapters, and then we're going to have a discussion and some sort of assignment. And this week we have 2 discussions, because the first discussion is due on July 22nd. It's really earlier in the week. So depending on what summer I'm teaching this, just double check the date on this. It's usually due the Wednesday. Sadly, we dealt with a lot of fake students. So I need to make sure students are active, and I have to drop students who are not active in courses. So be sure to complete that discussion 1 introduction video. And you've got a textbook assignment. I know, I'm realizing I'm missing there's going to be another quiz on Oh, there it is. Introduction to Kinesiology video quiz up top. Okay. Everything's due at the end of the week except for that initial intro video, which I want to be done on Wednesday. And then we have a textbook assignment. So doing your reading, it'll come out of the first couple of chapters. And then you're going to see a guest presenter, Dr. Yuri Fado, and we'll talk to him about his career in kinesiology and what got him going. And there's going to be some interesting questions that I would like you to ask and respond to peers in your discussion. So week 2, very similar, quizzes, video, and then a discussion. Excuse me, a assignment, but it is actually based on some videos. And then we've got some discussion with Carlos Gonzalez, athletic trainer. And then we get into week 3, more read the material in the textbook. Those are the chapters we'll be covering. And then we're going to go through these quizzes. We have a second textbook assignment, so it's directly related to these chapters. And then you're going to watch a discussion from Dr. Suzanne Chavez. She's going to present on chiropractic, week 4, chapters 10 through 12. And we're going to do the quizzes. We have an actual live presentation that you can attend. It will be recorded. It will be live Wednesday. So please check this out because I have my wife, who's an occupational therapist, and she's going to come in and do a presentation live. So if you're interested and want to talk live, it's optional. It's going to be awesome. I hope some students who are interested in occupational therapy show up because you get an opportunity to help me record the video and ask questions. And then we have a pre-recorded discussion with Dr. Thomas Castro. So this week is just 2 discussions, who's the guest presenter. And then our last week, we've got a few more chapters that we have to cover, quizzes. And then we have our My Kinesiology Career, which is a little bit more of a, where'd it go? Oh, it's locked. Why is it locked? It shouldn't be locked. Okay, I'll unlock that. But it's basically a paper. It's worth 200 points. I got to adjust that. It should be 200 points. That will all be tweaked for you. You can see the 200 points here. But this paper generally is going to get you thinking through the steps that you need to go through based on the career that you're interested in, having gone through a whole bunch of careers. And you can obviously refer to that initial AKA website if you would like. That's all I've got. If you have questions, please make sure you get in contact with me. You can either inbox me directly or you can email me. If you do decide to call me, I can call you back. That's fine too. You can leave me a message on my school voicemail, and it goes right to my email. So I'll get that pretty quickly and I can respond. That's all I've got. Thank you all for your attention. And if you got any questions, please let me know.